Literally, it probably sounds like gibberish to you guys, or gibberish if you don't have any context and you're just hearing me yell. So I'm gonna be back once again with another video, part 2 of the William W. Atkinson book analysis on thought forces in business and everyday life. I don't think I introduced the book in the last video, so I'm doing it now. So we're gonna continue from where we left off. Of course, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. But we're gonna continue where we left off. What we spoke about before was basically our opinions our feedback, based on what we were told by William in this book. Apparently thoughts are things, and our thoughts could literally be drowned out by other people. And when we think of something, it's not sort of contained in our head where it only belongs to us. It's a secret thought that only belongs to us. Maybe the material of it will be as such. Like, you know, you could think about, you can maybe have murderous intent, right? And people will feel the murderous intent, but in terms of who you have that murderous intent towards, that's the more obscure part. We're gonna just read a little bit more and give much more of a feedback on what this guy has to say. And let's continue. Guys, of course, whatever theories you have on this guy's theories and my feedback to those theories, please leave in the comment section, because I'm very interested to hear what you guys have to think. Because honestly, this sort of changes the game on how social and personal magnetism works, right? Especially in regards to this practice. At the end of the day, guys, it doesn't matter how the science works. It's not that important. It is always good to understand how it works, right? But what's most important is that it does work. You will have a good result when you're on the practice of semen retention, because that cultivates and refines the broadcasting of these thoughts and the efficacy of these thoughts. Let's continue. So besides affecting others, our thoughts affect us, not only temporarily, but also permanently. We are what we think ourselves into being. The biblical statement that as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he, is literally correct. So it is literally. So William is saying, not only our thoughts can affect others, right? Because we are the container, the generator of such thoughts, naturally it'll affect us as well, to some degree. As a man thinketh, so is he, as the Judeo-Christian authors said, right? So let's read a little bit more. This is so interesting, guys, and it actually brings much more of a light on the semen retention practice. The reason why this practice is so important is because semen retention brings you on another frequency, right? It raises your vibration, it raises your frequency, so the thoughts and the experiences that you have of that frequency is of the changed frequency. What you want to do with semen retention is that you want to win. You have to view staying on your streak as a battle, as a fight, as a war, and the victory that is achieved, which is, you know, due to staying on the streak, is a battle of attrition, which means that it's like, hollowing out a stone with dripping water. What you want to do is stay on the practice, because the longer you stay on the practice, the vibrations of your thought will change. Generally, you will be at a completely different level. And then once that happens, because you are thinking differently, your body will change. Due to this theory, your mind will change, your life will change, because you are changing literally the constituent nature of your thoughts. This is why semen retention is important. You can feasibly do it off of semen retention, right? Change yourself due to the material of your thoughts. But the efficacy is not as powerful because you're not using refined energy to generate and propel those thoughts. You will have to consistently do it with the same efficacy. And because you don't have that reservoir that semen retention gives you of mental energy, you will just sort of lose. You will just sort of do less and less well as the days goes by. No matter, you can come in with a lot of energy and excitement for that first thought, but then it will just sort of subside and get weaker, because you don't have that. It's not backed by the power of semen retention. You'll have to just sort of try something new, like get on semen retention. Let's continue. You know how easy it is to think yourself into a blue state of mind. I never heard of that. Or the reverse, but you do not realize that repeated thought upon a certain line will manifest itself not only in character, which it certainly does, but also in the physical appearance of the thinker. This is so, This is why I appreciate the men of old, the individuals of old, because they didn't have many distractions. Of course, there's things that existed, but they thought about things in a very, very different way, in a very, very seemingly simple way. This is a demonstrable. That's hard. How do you say that word? Demonstrable. We're gonna say demonstrable. Demonstrable fact, and you have but to look around you to realize it. You have noticed how a man's occupation shows itself in his appearance and general character. Well, I say this, guys, in this world generally, because a lot of individuals don't have the strength of willpower. A lot of individuals don't have that strength of mental thought. So naturally, you can sort of, if you look at someone, you can sort of tell, oh, this is what this person does for a living. Oh, this is what this person does for personal gain, right? For monetary gain. When you are sort of a versatile, expansive individual that only an abundance of refined energy can grant you, you are almost imperceivable. Naturally, of course, if like there are the physical barometers of how people judge people in the world. Oh, he's dark-skinned and he looks a certain way, he must do this. Or, oh, she's light-skinned and looks a certain way, she must do this. But of course, that's all low vibration. They're not actually pondering what this individual is exuding, one, and two, what this person does based on that exuberance of whatever energy that person is exuberating. So that's just life. This is so interesting. This is such a different take on the mental benefits of semen retention. Let's continue, guys. What do you suppose occasions this phenomenon? Nothing more or less than that thought. If that's weird. If you have, this the way it's worded, you've have. If you've is you have. So why would they put have twice? If you change your occupation, your general character and appearance kept pace with your changed habits of thought. Your new occupation brought out a new train of thought, and thoughts take form in action. You may have never taken this view of the matter, but it is true nevertheless, and you may find ample proof of its correctness by merely looking around you. So if you really think about it, gentlemen, right? Secret societies could truly manipulate individuals. Media could truly manipulate individuals they are literally broadcasting thought forms to you. There are ways of thought that will be absorbed by you. What they do is that based on the resistance of individuals, based on they gauge the mental resistance that individuals would have, and then they use various things in advertisements, such as color, in order to viscerally speak to us and, viscerally enter us and affect our minds, which have no sort of shield against this type of angle of attack. We have to truly steel ourselves and guard ourselves from the material that we ingest. Say, for instance, if you're a young man that's sort of given up on dating, right, in the US, and then as a result, you go on YouTube and you watch various videos on how to date more successfully in the US, you become the aggregate sum of these opinions, isolate of any sort of unique traits or opinions or angles of thought that you may have on the matter. You must be careful. Men on semen retention, you must be extremely cautious of what you are ingesting food-wise and, of course, material-wise. News, media, so on and so forth, your friends, because they will influence your thoughts and therefore indirectly change your reality. This is definitely a strategy that secret societies are using 100%, because this is beyond our control. When you see something that doesn't necessarily agree with you, especially when you're rising on the practice of semen retention, walk away, because you will start to be affected. Let's continue, guys. A man who thinks energy manifests energy. The man who thinks courage manifests courage. The man who thinks I can and will gets there, while the I can't man gets left. You know that to be true. Now, what causes the difference? Thought, just plain thought. But why, right? Let's find out. Let's just figure this out. But why? Just because it cannot help itself. Action follows as the natural result of vigorous thinking. Like we said earlier, dripping water slowly but surely hollows out a stone. You have to, if you want to be successful, if you want to have success in whatever goal you guys place in front of you, whether it be having a higher streak on semen retention, maybe having a better job, finding some sort of outlet creatively to express yourself to this world. You have to consistently think about it. The more you think about it, you are sort of broadcasting. It's like sending a beacon. It's like beep, 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 beep. And then the more you do that, you will get maybe one day you'll get an answer. And the answer will be something that you definitely would like to entertain, perhaps, because it is a result of your thinking. It's the answer to your question, that gnawing, biting question, right? Sent in the form of thoughts. Change your mind. Change the vibration of your mind. You are an I can, you are a positive person. Even though this sounds very like sort of fruity almost. It's like, I am a positive person, so I will be positive. There are realities, of course. You know, there are people that generally think negatively and they're going to sort of try to stop you. This is what happens when you're on semen retention. This is what happens when you have harnessed a very, very high vibration within yourself. But we must continue to hold the line. We must continue to be strong. Let's continue with this. You think in earnest and action does the rest. Thought is the greatest thing in the world. If you do not know it now, you will before you are through with this course of lessons. You may say that this is no new thing to you, that you know all about making up your mind and all that sort of thing long ago. This is my thoughts. I'm like a sort of a Luddite, but except with, how do you say, a Luddite in terms of I eschew platitudes, right? Think positive and therefore experiences will be positive. Ha! Codswallop, bah, humbug. I'm going to change I'm serious, I'm gonna give this a try. For the most part, I've been positive, and I have been positive for a very, very long time. I look beyond the negative things of the world because I understand the nature, I understand why it is so. So I just sort of stay positive, but this is probably a new angle that I could use semen retention for in order to maybe get something else that I believe I deserve in a shorter period of time. You may say that this is no new thing to you, that you know all about making up your mind and all that sort of thing long, long ago. Then why did you not put it into practice and make something of yourself? I will tell you the trouble. You thought I can't instead of I can. Now I am going to change that I can't into a big I can, and bigger I will. That is what I'm here for, and I intend to make you over before I am through with you. Oh, thank goodness William W. Atkinson is here. I definitely need a makeover, man. I just feel like I don't know how to do my thought makeup. I'm just sort of thinking negatively in certain parts of life, in certain situations, and I just don't know how to escape this crevice of horrible gravitas, right? This negative gravitas of the individuals around. What do I do? William, teach me, teach us. We want to know. I suppose that you thought I would give you an elaborate transcendental discourse on things away up in the clouds and hope that I would tell you how to charge yourself up with a lot of magnetism so that you would be able to light the gas with the tips of your fingers or draw everybody to you like a piece of steel to a magnet now, didn't you? Well, I am not. Damn it! I thought there was gonna be some sort of practice. I just sort of harness the energy like the Nahobino from Shin Megami Tensei 5. And then I just get what I desire, right? But we all know that there's a practice to do so. Semen retention is that practice. There is no other thing that a man should do in order to usher these things, the things that they desire, to them. Thoughts, even especially now that we know that thoughts are corporeal and physical, require energy. Everything that is physical has a constituent nature inside of it that propels it, that sort of causes it to fall in line with inertia, that falls in line with gravity, that falls in line with whatever the physical laws that surround us that were stated to us by Isaac Newton. That energy for those thoughts to propel itself and to broadcast itself will fill itself up with the power of semen retention. Semen retention binds you and gives you thought energy. It gives you mental power, mental prowess. I think it helps with the efficacy of the broadcast of your thoughts. Of those consistent and successive thoughts, it adds much more of a punch to them. You are better on semen retention than off of semen retention, and we all know this, right? Especially followers of the channel and practitioners of semen retention. We're gonna end it in a little bit. So let's check this out. Well, I'm not, but I intend to tell you how you can generate into yourself a force compared with which magnetism is weak. A force that will make a man of you. A force that will make you realize that the I am within you. Realize that I am within you. A power that will enable you to be a man of strong personal qualities, a man of influence, a successful man. I will tell you how you can acquire that which you have been calling personal magnetism, providing you will start at it in earnest. It is worth working for, and when you feel your new strength developing within you, you would not exchange your newfound knowledge for a fortune. Excellent, so we're gonna end it here. closing statements on this beautiful bit of literature here is this. There is power within us, and the power that is within us is due to the way we channel our thoughts, the way that we broadcast which kinds of thoughts into the world. We think positive, we will get positive. This sounds like a whole bunch of codswallop. This is nuts. You hear what I'm saying, Summer del Piso? I say this, stay on your respective practices of semen retention. Generate the inner vital energy within you and broadcast those thoughts with more energy, more potency, and more efficacy. The idea is we're gonna listen to what this powerful, magnanimous, powerful, I already said powerful, individual and his theories on the broadcasting of positive thoughts or strong, willful thinking. But at the end of the day, we know that in order to cultivate the energy, in order to cultivate a sort of personal strength, in order to broadcast these thoughts and to therein change your life, is through the practice of semen retention. We know this. Stay on semen retention, the efficacy of your thoughts will be increased tenfold, and you'll be closer to bringing the reality of your dreams, or the reality that was preordained for you by the Almighty, closer and closer to you. And with that being said, that is all I have to say today. If you enjoyed that video, like, comment, subscribe, share the video with some peers. Like I always say, guys, and I said this in an earlier video, don't ever let this world get you down. And now we know that the world really can get you down. There is a plethora, majority of people that broadcast these thought forms, negative thought forms, due to the experiences that they have willed for themselves. We all have our personal paths, we all have our personal journeys, and on those personal journeys, even though they may be the personal journey of someone from Shenzhen in China, or another person from Nepal, or another person in Pattaya, Thailand, right? We are all an amalgamation. Hey, look at this guy. He looks so cute. We're all an amalgamation of our choices. When we choose, how we are drawn into those choices is due to our personal practices of self-discipline, right? Austerity measures, self-moderation. You moderate yourself, you make the correct choices, and you'll become the result that you dreamed about. But if we are like a lot of the people perhaps that are watching the channel, we've sort of failed in a lot of making the correct choice, then thank goodness we have William W. Atkinson that will sort of tell us how to get our life back on track. And stay radiant, my friends. I'll see you guys in the next video.